Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. Today I'm joined by Danny Oliver, a top international Michael Jackson tribute artist who has performed for Michael himself and travels around the world performing and captivating his audience with his dance moves. Also today, a young rap artist and songwriter joins me to talk about his life as a rap artist and what it means to him. We welcome Vital. My first guest today is someone that regularly commands the stage with the infamous moves of the legend that is Michael Jackson. His flair, energy and passionate performances take him around the world, and I'm very pleased to say he's dropped in to be with us at the studios today. Let's welcome Danny Oliver. Thank you, Danny, for coming on to Cuppa TV.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
I mean, Michael Jackson, I don't think anybody doesn't know of Michael Jackson.
Incredible.
He's an incredible man.
He's so universally, he's a universal figure. He's universally appealing, you know.
And a great loss when we lost him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go back, Danny. So how did it all begin for you? How did you begin to become, you are a professional lookalike for Michael Jackson. And for those of you watching might be thinking, he doesn't look like Michael Jackson today. We have some images for you to show you, but it does, you take a lot of makeup. How long does it take you to do your makeup?
About 2 hours, I would say. I've got it down to about 2 hours now.
That's very good. So Danny, how did it all begin?
Well, I've always loved and admired Michael Jackson since before I can remember. I've always been captivated and mesmerised by his artistry. And so I'd always be doing it at home, watching, studying Michael on the VHS, and performing shows in school and different holiday parks. And then I did my first overseas show at 9, but I began performing, being paid at 14. I started to work for Madame Tussauds and Rock Circus, and I did shows for them. I would do school Monday to Friday, and then Friday to Sunday, I'd go down and do shows for them. And then it just really expanded and grew from there. I did my first show in New York at 14.
Gosh, that's incredible to be in New York at 14.
Absolutely. And, so I did my first show there when I was 14. And then I started going around Europe, like Munich, when I was 14 also. And it just really, really grew. And then by the time I was 17 or 18, I had performed for Michael twice in London and in New York.
Wow.
Yeah. And
you've actually met Michael, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been very blessed.
So tell us about that. How did that come about?
Well, initially, Michael was staying in a private residence in Park Lane in London, and a friend of mine had a friend in Sony Music, and so we were very fortunate. Michael came out and my friend and I and a few others spent 2 hours talking to him, and I was 14 at the time, and people would always say to me, "What do you want to do when you grow up? And what do you want to do when you're in school?" I would say, "I don't care as long as I meet Michael Jackson." That was my life's aim, and it just happened.
It's good enough aim.
And it was incredible. I spent 2 hours with him, and ever since then, I spent more and more time with him, and over 10 years. Just recognition really built. I spent more time with him. He started calling me on a name basis. We spoke on the telephone. He had invited me to Neverland.
Was that a bit surreal? Did you think, this isn't happening to me?
When I think back to it, it's just like another world, another life, really, like another dimension. I'm completely blessed, and it's incredible.
And you were invited to Neverland, so tell us about that.
Well, I had made and designed a jacket for Michael in about 2001, and he took a real big liking to that. And then I had made another one for him, which was very well known. I achieved with it exactly as I had planned, which was that it would kind of send the media off into a little frenzy because of its content. And by the time I came back to London, it was all over the papers. And so Michael pulled up in his Bentley, in his black Bentley. He had just come home from taking his eldest son, Prince, to the dentist. and he wound down his window, and he said, "Come on, you gotta come in, get in your car, let's go, come on." And yeah, and I had some friends that worked there, and they said,
Can't say no to
"Jump in
Michael
the car,
Jackson.
you're coming in." And it was just, I mean, wow, it was unbelievable.
Now,
So
we've got
lucky.
some images of this jacket, so
Yes.
viewers at home, we've got. So that's the one we're looking at. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's the markings on it. What do they represent?
Well, actually, the armband on the right arm, that's actually a symbol of unity. I believe it used to be the old Egyptian flag. It resembles something like that.
Fantastic.
But that one there is one that I frequently perform with, which is replicated from Michael's stage jackets. But the one that I had designed for him is different to that one.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
And I mean, so you went to Netherlands. You actually went to Netherlands, did you?
Yeah, and it's wow. It's like walking inside of his imagination. I mean, it's the most beautiful, magical place. It really, truly is. You know, there's music playing everywhere, all this very magical, very theatrical music, and all the speakers are disguised as rocks, so you can't see them coming from anywhere. And Michael has his amusement park. And another interesting thing as well was that there were Christmas decorations everywhere, and I think he had it decorated in the theme of Christmas, because when he was younger, he never had to experience the joy of Christmas.
I mean, the family worked. I mean, he worked from a very young age, Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. I think we forget that.
Absolutely.
You know, so he probably felt that perhaps he did miss out on some things.
Yeah,
I mean, that was documented, hasn't it? That he felt that he had missed out
Absolutely.
on a lot of his childhood because of his work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, at an age when most people are trying to figure out which shoe goes into which foot, or you know how to tie up your shoelaces, he was out, you know, entertaining, you know, thousands of people per show, and at the same time he was, you know, missing out on friends and you know the normal joys of
If you like, the
childhood.
normal joys of childhood, absolutely.
Absolutely, and he did, you know, he really did as much as he could to try and compensate for everything that he had missed out on. And you know, in Neverland you can really see that there are amusement park rides everywhere, carousel, but that's also because anywhere he goes, he really can't do anything without getting hounded or there being a huge mob of fans or some kind of, you know, hysteria. So he can do all that behind his gates.
So with your performances, Danny, I mean, you know, they're incredible. They have taken you around the world, and you've really taken on his dance moves and the persona.
Yeah.
And again, we've got some pictures here of you on the stage. I mean, that looks like Michael Jackson. So that's always a good thing, isn't it, when you're a professional lookalike?
That's kind of the aim.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
But I mean, so do you presumably, I mean, just have to get inside his head, and do you become Michael Jackson when you put the makeup on and the clothes?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you really take on the heart of that person, and for me as well, personally, it's really a very spiritual thing because of my deep, lifelong admiration and passion for Michael Jackson, and so you could be real tired, and you just feel this sense of energy, you know.
I mean, there's some more images going up now, and it's just incredible. I mean, they look so like Michael Jackson.
Thank you.
You know.
I mean, you know, the audience. We have a good time. The
Which is
audience are very
great.
sweet, and they have a good time.
So you're doing lots of things. I mean, I know you performed twice in New York and London, of course.
Yeah,
But
for
you know,
Michael.
you've got a recent with Selena, your wife. You've got a recent event coming up, haven't you? Tell us about that.
Yeah, we are Selena, my wife, who is Selena Cherry from the group The Honeys.
Yes.
Recently featured on the big reunion. We have a big Michael Jackson extravagant show coming up at the Stockport Plaza on October 14th. So for any further information, you can simply email info@mjeternity.com.
Okay, and they can get in contact with the station if people are interested in doing
Yeah, I believe to get in, to go direct about tickets and that information, it's stockportplaza.co.uk.
Okay, it's great. But I mean, there's loads and loads of other things. You've done so much, you know, it's just incredible, really. I mean, you actually performed at Katie Price's wedding.
Yeah.
Which was just great.
Yeah, it was wonderful. We had a great
and also
time.
Kerry Katona.
Yeah,
so, yes.
most recently did Kerry's wedding,
Yes.
and you know, that was covered by OK magazine, and we had a great time. I mean, it was wonderful. There were all these, you know, who of course are our friends now, but you know, in the 90s and early 2000s, you know, were all these very, 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 very popular chart-topping groups. Yes. You know, and of course still very popular now to many people, and yeah, they were just all watching and applauding, and everyone had a great time, and she was so overjoyed by it. Yeah, afterwards she said, "I think I kind of fancy you now, Danny." You know? I think that was more of a Scottish accent, sorry. That was my attempt to do a northern accent.
All right, don't worry about it. Well, Danny, you know, it's just a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. I have to say, you're going to have to come back and tell us some more.
I would love to.
Because it's so interesting.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Cuppa TV. Now, my next guest is a young man who is passionate about his rapping and likes to use his songwriting talents to inspire others. Touring across the UK, but based here in the West Midlands, we welcome local rap artist Vital. Vital, thank you so much for coming on to Cuppa TV.
Thank you so much for having me. I really
Wonderful to see you. And obviously you came to us, for those of you who've watched this, Vital was with us on the election special. So wonderful to see you again,
Definitely,
Vital. So tell us a little bit, we've got more time now for you to talk to us about what you do. So Vital, as a rap artist, tell us about that.
So I'm 23 years old. I rap, I do grime music, I do dancehall, and I do a bit of like rap itself, so hip hop music. Like I've been doing it for about 9-10 years now, and something that I've developed into like a conscious, positive thing. So I try to do a lot of fun music, a lot of conscious stuff, and I go in schools and stuff, and I kind of speak to kids as well. So really cool.
Fantastic. And when you're talking to the children, do you find that the music really, you know, they can relate to the music?
That's the main link. So I know everyone likes music, and especially young people, that's what they kind of live with. That's their like Bible, if that makes sense. So I try to make music that comes across in a way that it's not exactly preaching, but kind of like teaching in a sense, but also still having fun, and you know what I mean, like people are enjoying themselves kind of thing. So yeah.
And tell us about your background, Vital. How did you get involved with the music in the first place?
So around the age of 13, 14, I was in school, as you do, kind of rapping in breaks and stuff like that. And I think out of all my friends, I was the only person to carry on doing it, basically. You know what I mean? Everyone else gave up and I took full-time jobs.
Enough with the rapping already.
You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, and I just pushed through, man. But since then, I've done so much things. I've lived in Spain for a while. I've performed in other countries. I've taught, like you said, I've done a lot of different shows up and down England. I've released music videos on TV. So it's working for me. So that's what I love doing as well.
And you obviously love it. You're very passionate about what you do. And when you're talking to others, you know, to the young especially, I mean, you're young yourself, but you like to encourage them, don't you? I know that you do that. Is that something that's always very important to you?
So important, because I think the age of, let's say, around 11 to 15 is that crucial age, that pivotal moment where you decide roughly what you can do for the rest of your life without realising. So I think if you can plant a positive, a conscious seed at that point, as in someone like me who's 23, who's probably a bit more sure about what I want to do now in life, if I can kind of give them a right motivation, right understanding of options and choices, and do that through music, do it through my understanding of like what I believe and what I've done in my experiences, I feel like that's something I should do. If I know if it feels right to me, I do it basically, and it feels right. So I'll go in schools all the time and I'll talk to them. I'll give them like options about choices and all that kind of stuff. And it really works. It really works. I did have one student, he's really cool. He messaged me the other day and he goes, "I wish you came into my year 11 at the start, because you would have made it have a purpose." And I thought, wow, like,
how lovely
you know what I mean?
is that to have taken the time out to send that to you?
Seriously.
And do you wish that you'd had somebody like that to come into you, or did you always have that sort of strong belief in what you were doing?
I think it's a bit of both. I'm kind of lucky. I never had, like, I've got bigger brothers, but I never had big brothers that lived with me, so I never had no real male role model in that respect. But I did have my mum, and my mum is like my foundation, like my everything kind of thing. I got a song called Fast Cars. If you check it out, and everything in there is how much I respect my mum. But like, she was the type of person that empowered me. She made me believe I have my own choices and I can create my own decisions and all that kind of stuff. And then I've just ran with that kind of thing and just tried to do what she's given to me and give it to the rest of the world or anyone that comes in contact with me, you know what I mean?
And when you're doing your music, I mean, do your family obviously support what you're doing?
They do, you know, and that's really good because support is everything. Because think about it, to be a successful musician, you just need people. If people like you, then you are successful. It's as simple as that. And it starts obviously with friends and family, and my friends and family have been there from day one. I can't really say that no one hasn't showed me respect or showed me love or support from day one. So. Yeah.
And you work, I mean, you work based here in the West Midlands, but work across the UK, and you've got lots of things coming up. I mean, you've got your EP that's out already, isn't it? So tell us about that.
So it's an EP called Don't Lie to Yourself, and it's more than just music in that respect. You've got different genres on there. You've got dancehall music, you've got grime, you've got some conscious rap on there, and it's a 4-track EP. And what's really cool is Don't Lie to Yourself, #DLTY. It's basically a simple idea that MCs, when I grew up, I felt like a lot of them lied to themselves in lyrics, and that made a butterfly effect to younger up-and-coming MCs or passive people listening. And you're saying all these things that you do, but then you're talking about money and all these cars you got, then you're at the bus stop. That doesn't make any sense to me. Nothing's wrong with that in the sense of being at the bus stop, but like, you know what I mean? Like, be truthful to yourself, because it does make a knock-on effect, and people start believing all these lies that are not necessarily true. So don't lie to yourself. That's what it basically is.
Because I mean, the music industry is a very fragile industry. Would you agree with that? I mean,
it's scary. I think it used to
be at the top 1 minute, and then no one's heard of you. You know, the following year. Who are you? So, but that's not going to happen to you.
No. Let's not touch wood, wherever the wood is. Touch wood. But I think it is very fragile. But I think what's really cool nowadays, the artist has the most control. So long as you're determined to become something and you keep that consistency, you won't fail. And I've got lots of examples I can think of people who have basically done it themselves and are still doing it themselves. And because of when things fall, like labels crash or whatever it might be, they're still going because they're doing it themselves. So I'm very prominent on doing that, basically.
And is it self-belief? You've obviously got a real strength of self-belief
there.
I can. I can feel that self-belief. But is that important?
It's so important, man, because you got to think them times when you're not motivated to make a song or not motivated to go to a school or not motivated to just do anything. You have to just dig deep, so deep, and think, you know, in that time when I was motivated, let's think about that. Okay, and then it comes back. So there is times where you're kind of like a bit low, and it sounds really, really mad, but I'm not always necessarily a happy person. But I always believe if you decide something, you make it reality. So I decide to be happy. I decide to be, I don't know, powerful in my own right. And then I wake up and I'm out and about, and that's how I feel. You know what I mean? Like, it's a decision. And
does that come over and spill over into your music when you're writing?
It has to, because I try to, like I said, it's called Don't Lie to Yourself, the EP. I'm basically not lying to you. Everything I've said, hands down, in the last 8 years, I would say, in music is all truthful. I can't necessarily lie, because if I hear it back, I cringe. I'm like, that's not true. That's not true, you know what I mean? So I have to be as real as I can, man, definitely.
Well, let's have a little, would you like to give us a little rap?
Yeah, we can do something.
That'd be fabulous.
Yeah,
a couple of minutes, whatever you want to do.
Cool.
Yeah, go.
Mad thing how we move on street. Might book a flight, go straight to Paris. French guy like je suis en fleek. Me, I'm like quick mercy, baby. I'm a right little traveller. I don't worry about girls, I get a bag of that. I take pics with chicks that I'm tagging her. Woo, I'm all over the camera. Look, I just came back from Tenerife, then I'm going back to Dam to graph for the week. I got cash to stack, so I'm a graph for the P. Looking at my back balance like it must be a dream. On fleek what I move like. Too sick, too swift what I move like. Oh my gosh. I know bare man, I want my lifestyle. It's on fleek, but it's peaking there, car. There man there, better leave man there. See man now, I can't see man there. I don't need man, I just leave man. You wanna fight man? I just leave man there. I don't need man them, I got fist in there. Look, they're ripping up any brother that thinks is rare. I'm the wickedest villainous MC in here. You better mind that you're speaking to man. Man doesn't respect when you're speaking to man. I got girls that are speaking to man. Now them girl there don't speak to the man. Next thing, I don't trust anybody. Real talk man, I'm like everybody. On a big man thing, I tell a man quick, look fam, I'm not just anybody.
Hey, that was very good.
I appreciate that. It's a little taste.
That's woken us up here on Cuppa TV. But again, I was, listening to the lyrics. Obviously, do you take that from personal experiences?
Everything.
Just everyday life.
So
how does that work?
Because I do predominantly grime, so it's got that kind of.
Now explain grime to those who don't know.
Okay, so grime is basically, let's just make it easy. So
it's
you've
not
got
grime
rap.
on the table.
No, it's not like dirt. It's not like mud. But like it kind of comes from the streets. So it's the idea of that. But it's just think about UK American rap is just rap, yeah? And then grime is more a UK version, so UK homegrown rap. So the way we rap is a little bit faster, a little probably a bit more aggravated in the sense of like the energy that goes into it. So sometimes it can be a little bit simple or a bit quite creative, like like rhymes and stuff. So it's more of a vibe. So when you hear it, you'll know, you're like, yeah, that's grime, because you can't help but nod. If you're not nodding, it might not be grime, kind of thing, you know what I mean?
I was nodding, that was good. That's a good thing then.
But like, what I try to do, so I'm going to tell you something really secretive, is I try to cater for everyone. It's not always the best thing to do, but what I can do is I can take a grime lyric and switch it into like a spoken word piece. So I can show you roughly what I mean if you don't mind.
Go on then, off you go.
So I'm not down with a 9 to 5 or running around pulling a 9 on 5s. I know brothers out here that strive for rights, but I'm out here, I'm trying to fight for mine. I know what 9 to 5 ain't my kind of life, because I write a rhyme, I'm revitalized. I know I'm idolized, never kind of shy, but I got an excited and it's quite disguised. Ting turn up, it to broke up the roads in it. 10,000 views, I'm on a roll in it. AKA 1518 to 8102, request my video in it, yeah. Request my video in it. Brothers know that I'm sick on a show in it, and that's why I get booked for the shows in it, and that's why they give me all the dough in it. That's why, and I'm quoting it. They're like, Vital, you're gonna blow in it. I'm like, yeah, I know in it. I'm just soaking it in. But them men are frauds, they're going in like the hard. They're so convinced they need to go back to school or do a 9 to 5 because they don't know a thing. But take care in the road, cause my friend Klepto, whoa, he got 9 in a pen. Yeah, I saw my friend Klepto, we got 9 in pen. But you know, that kind of vibe there. So it's like, if I put on a grime beat,
I'm there.
if I put on a grime beat, it's just like lots of energy. But if I kind of slow it down, you actually hear I'm actually talking about some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
because I could. Well, obviously, because I'm listening, I can pick on the words.
Exactly.
So, future for you then?
Future.
Vital.
So it's all about doing, like, I feel like what you have to do as a musician is create your foundation so it's powerful. So I'm building my foundation and I'm trying to expand it. So if I can, I don't know, be on every radio station possible, every TV station possibly, obviously Cuppa TV.
Of course, gonna have Cuppa TV.
Of course.
Always come back and join us.
Of course. And it's building that, isn't it? And I feel like making real connections, real relationships with people, reaching out to audiences in the most powerful way I can.
Right, we've come to the end of the show today, but I'd like to thank Danny and Vital for joining me, and thank you for watching. We'd love to hear from you, so please get in touch, either by email or you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at Big Centre TV. Until next time, bye-bye.